Hi everyone, my name is Ole Martin Wemstad. I'm the founder and CEO of Sporting Global, and today we have a special guest all the way from Barcelona, Diego Valdes. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Ole. Nice to be here. Uh, Doing great. Ready for our chat.
Yeah, first of all, really appreciate that you're taking the opportunity, and I think first we want to highlight a little bit. Tell us about your professional and academic background, so our viewers and listeners can understand who are you and what do you do.
Right. So basically, my path started in training. I've been involved in training professionals in the business landscape for a number of years, but I
Right.
always had a passion for sport. So I decided to specialize myself and do an MBA in sports management here in Barcelona.
Yep.
And when I did that master, I thought, okay, how can I put together my, professional experience in training and incorporate it into, sports, which is my passion, and particularly football. So
For sure.
that's where SBI grew. The idea grew out of, we thought, okay, well, there's this opportunity to provide potential students that want to break into the industry a program that is practical, that is hands-on, and my experience comes from the training side of things, and obviously specializing in sport and building contacts over the past number of years.
Right.
I was able to bring in those two passions.
Amazing. And obviously, you're the director of SBI Barcelona. So tell us a little bit more about what SBA is all about and what makes it unique.
Yeah, so we specialize in providing training for those that want to start or advance their career in the business side of sport, particularly football.
Right.
Most of what we do is online.
Yep.
But I think what makes us unique in some ways is that we really aim to deliver lessons that are live and interactive to our participants. So despite being an online course and someone being in Norway or Brazil or Spain,
Right.
um, the whole objective of the course is to provide as much interaction and a personalized and customized approach to each of our students, so that despite being in different parts of the world, they feel as though they're connecting in one place and creating a community that goes beyond just a course. So it's doing a course and then remaining active with SBI,
Right.
and being part of their journey.
And that's definitely one of the challenges too, right? As kind of like just dealing with a kind of like an online kind of like course, like just making sure that you're staying in touch, and create like that special, relationship to, the students regardless where they are. And I think that's really great that you guys are focusing a lot on that, because I think that's also could be a lot of challenges when you're looking for kind of like online programs, like maybe you don't feel as attached. And I know you guys said that you're doing like some sort of meetup, right, in the beginning and at the end. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. So one of the things that the online world presents is, it has many opportunities,
For
and
sure.
I'll just touch upon one of those opportunities before answering that
Yeah.
particular question. And that particular opportunity is that, when you do face-to-face programs, what tends to happen if you're doing it in one particular city is most of the demographics of the student base tend to come from the same area, with the
Right.
exception of a few international students.
For sure.
So what tends to happen is that the input in some of these classes, is more limited in some ways.
Yeah.
So in an online environment, you have the opportunity of having, people from all parts of the globe that add their insight. That many
Right.
times, for example, we're based in Europe, but we don't necessarily know much about the market in the Middle East or in Africa. And when people come from these regions and explain to us how the industry works there, it adds a lot of value to the
For
discussions.
sure.
That being said, the face-to-face connection is invaluable, and we
Right.
look to really create those touch points face-to-face for our students. So one of the things we do is at the end of our master's program, we have
Yep.
a 2-day event in Barcelona where they
Okay.
come, they participate in a program that is, taking them inside organizations like FC Barcelona, Espanyol, and also
Yes.
creating, a connection so that people have a social environment to network and to engage.
Right.
And this year we also did that, this year and the year before at the World Football Summit. So before the
Yep.
course starts, we have our students gather in Madrid, and that's two touch points, one at the beginning, one at the end, where they're face to face, where they're live, and then in the middle there's that online component.
So essentially, you just get the best of both worlds.
We try to. Obviously, we're always looking to improve, and we're always
Sure.
looking to partner up with great organizations that are able to to assist us in providing a better service. So the work that you guys are doing is really fantastic, and we've been following it for a while. So
Appreciate that.
that's why I'm excited to have this conversation with you and exchange synergies and potential opportunities of collaboration.
Likewise, Diego. So my next question is, so you're launching a new online course on October 21st. So what is this course all about, and what would be your key learning points if you attend it?
Yes. So this course is our master's program. It's
Okay.
Master in Football Business and Management, delivered
Right.
online. And what essentially it is, it's understanding how the business of football works from the inside.
Yep.
From the inside, delivered by executives that work in the industry today. So
Right.
you have an online platform, evidently, where you have learning resources and everything that you would expect in an online campus, articles, cases, videos,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So a one-stop
Yeah.
shop. But then there's also the live master classes that are delivered online from professionals working in football.
Right.
One of the things we did this year for this program is that we signed a partnership with a university in Miami.
Okay.
So now this program is academically recognized by a US university, which means that when the students finish, they have obviously the backing of the industry, that the professionals that deliver it.
Right.
Also,
Right.
they have that seal of approval, if you will, from a US university, which adds weight to the to the program.
For
As
sure.
far as the key takeaways, it's we have three types of students that do this program.
Right.
One is recent graduates that are looking to break in and start their career. Then we also have people from other sectors that are looking to transfer their knowledge from their previous corporate background. And then we
Right.
also have people from the industry, whether it's club executives or even professional football players. Last year we had, for example, the captain of Leicester City Football Club, Wes Morgan, as one
Wow.
of the students. So it's a great experience being able to interact and say, well, I'm actually having a lesson with a guy who's going to be playing on Sunday, where everybody's going to be watching him around the world, right? So it's
Right.
a nice experience.
No, for sure. And I think, that's also quite a good experience and that kind of like opens the doors when you're doing online too, because you can just connect all those people and dots together in a little bit easier way. And I think also like one of the things which we liked a lot about SBI was the webinars that you guys are doing. So you almost been kind of like as a front runner, I would say, when it comes to creating webinars from the industry. So how do you select your speakers and who can attend these events?
Yeah. So one of the things at SBI we always considered is that we never wanted just to have a relationship with our community that was transactionary. In other words,
Right.
that they would do a course, they would pay, and then they'd leave, and we wouldn't hear anything of them.
For sure.
So from the beginning, we thought, okay, we need to put ourselves in the position of our potential students, candidates. And what do they want? And the thing that they're looking for is, as we were talking before, that part of it is that knowledge, and they want to
Right.
understand the industry better. So we thought, well, what better way to deliver that than through free webinars where
Yep.
we go out, invite speakers from the industry, and they deliver this, presentation where everybody can attend. It's free. You sign up through our
Yep.
website, and just through a quick opt-in, you're able to join.
Yep.
And basically, we get a lot of people, for example, that unfortunately, because of where they're living or their economic situation, they cannot afford one of our
Right.
courses.
Yeah.
And we don't want to leave these guys out, because they're also looking for a way in and for an opportunity. So these
For
webinars
sure.
provide them an opportunity to come in live, get some knowledge, and for us, that's what our mission has always been. It's been
Right.
about putting ourselves in the position of the students
For
and
sure.
looking at where they want to go, and obviously these types of executives, bring in great knowledge. As far as how we select them, we've been operating for almost 7.5 years. We're going to be
Right.
reaching our 8th year anniversary soon, and in
Amazing.
that time frame, we've been able to deliver, to establish, quite a number of strong relationships with people in the industry. So now it's easier to just reach out to some of these people and say, hey, would you mind coming on for an hour, do a
Yeah.
webinar? And most of the time, people obviously they have busy schedules, but they're willing to come in and get back and share their story and their journey.
Right, and I think also like one of the key reasons for that too is that they all been in the same positions. The people that are working in the industry, we all been on the same side of, it's hard to enter. So we kind of like just need that guidance, a little bit help, and I think those webinars comes a long way, and I think it's also a guideline for a lot of students to understand like, is this an industry for me? Is this something that fits what I'm looking to do, and again, helping them a little bit on the pathway of finding their way. So I think it's a great concept, of like sharing from industry experts and letting people get a little bit more knowledge, and of course it always helps when it's free, so you can essentially bring on whatever it is. So highly recommend our viewers to go check it out. And obviously, we're talking a lot about tips and kind of like guidelines for students and the younger demographic in sports. What tips do you have for students pursuing a master's degree, and why would SBI be a good choice for them?
Love this question. This is one that I always like to talk about because I'm very passionate about it.
Right.
So at SBI, we believe that there's 4 keys to optimizing your career in the business side of sports, and where we're focused on is football. So we believe there's
Perfect.
four keys, and we've seen the success patterns, and time again, if those 4 keys are met,
Yep.
usually people go on the right path. First one is knowledge. What do we mean by knowledge? Well, you have to have an understanding of how the industry works from the inside. Why?
Yeah.
Because like any other sector, if you want to work in, I don't know, aviation or agriculture, wherever, if you don't know the sector from the inside, you're
Right.
going to be in a disadvantageous position with others that do have that knowledge. So
Oh, for sure.
first thing you need to do is understand it, but really understand it from people that know about it and who can tell you how it actually works. So that's the
Right.
first thing: knowledge or an understanding of the industry itself.
For sure.
Secondly, building your network contact. Why? It is estimated that around 75–80% of the job offers in football are not
Right.
publicly advertised. So what
Right.
does that mean? That it's all based on relationships, or a lot of it is based on relationship. It's a lot based on trust, on who you know and how you
Yeah.
develop those relationships. And starting out, it's difficult to build your own contacts because number one, people don't know you. You may not have a positioning in the industry to be able to
Right.
connect with influencers or with decision makers. So it can be tough.
Right.
So it's important to start building that contact base from the beginning and have an opportunity to. And we always say, in order to build a relationship, you always have to give value first, rather
Right.
than asking, which is
100%.
something that especially young people tend to make the mistake. But anyway, we won't get into that now. We'll just focus on the key. So first is knowledge. Second is network or contacts.
Yeah.
Thirdly, and you touched upon this point earlier, which is sometimes people need guidance. They need that
Right.
support. They need that mentorship to know that they're going in the right direction. It's at the end of the day, those that are determined and those that put in the hard work, they get there.
Yeah.
But it's about optimizing as well. It's about making the
Right.
journey easier for yourself. And what better way than to have someone that is a mentor that can say, "Hey, listen, I've been through that hill before,
Yeah.
and you should be doing this, or try doing that, and connect with such and such, or build your
Right.
knowledge base on this, or I would recommend that."
And avoiding some of the easy mistakes, that others have done, giving them like tips so you don't have to do the same mistakes, because we all do mistakes.
Of course. So and there will be mistakes, and there will be
For sure.
humps along the way, learning experiences. But if you have someone that, number one, has the experience, has done it before, and is willing to help you, it's going to make your journey a lot easier. So having the right mentor is very important. And then the last one is experience.
Right.
This is sometimes more difficult because especially those that don't have experience in sports, that's the first sort of big obstacle trying to break in, and then once you get in, it's much easier to build up.
100%.
So building up that experience. So we always recommend people get out there, do some volunteer work, do some guest
Yep.
blogging, position yourself, add value to wherever you're based, and eventually, you're going to gain some experience. Now,
Right.
these four keys are the way we delivered our master's program, the way we designed our master's program is we reversed engineered and looked at ourselves and said, well, if I'm a participant, whether it is I'm a recent graduate or I'm transitioning or I'm already in the industry, what do I
Right.
need? And it comes down to those four keys. So
Yeah.
we thought, okay, we need to optimize those four areas so that when people do our master's program, when they do our courses, they're
Right.
getting that. They're getting the knowledge, the insight. They're getting an opportunity to network. They're going to have a mentor that will guide them. And
Right.
also, what we do is we connect them with people in the industry to look for opportunities in, internships or,
Right.
collaborations. So building that experience for them. So that's what sort of SBI is all about.
No, but like I think you're like spot on, and being from the industry myself, and we talk a lot about our pillars too, and it aligns pretty well with what you guys have, and I think you know uh, for any viewers, listeners out there, that's the four things you should bring on, and if like it's always said like you have to be determined, you have to be passionate about it. That has to be as a foundation, and then it's those 4 points. It's getting the knowledge, it's building your network, and of course the guidance and mentorship will help build that even further, and then you got to get your foot in the door. But if you have those determination and will to do it, you will be able to do it. So I think it's all about like how passionate you are, how willing you are, and then utilizing courses like SBI and programs like this that will give you the tools, in order to build a solid foundation to help you succeed. So I think that's absolutely great, Diego.
I would add one more thing as well, based on what you just said, which brings up a very good point, and that's that passion and that determination. And
Yeah.
we always say, when people are asking us about career advice, we always say, okay, well, there's a difference between people. There's those that are interested in working in the
Right.
football industry, and
Right.
those that are committed. And there is a
Right.
difference
It is a
because
difference.
there
Huge
will be
difference.
hard work. It will be long term. So we always also say, don't think that just because you do any course, whether it's our course or any of the other great programs that are out there in the market,
Right.
that all of a sudden you're going to find a job and you're going to be in a decision making position in the football industry. It's going to take time and it's a
Yeah.
marathon. But if you're willing to put in the hard work, if you're willing to be passionate and dedicated, we've seen it time and time again. At the end of the day, those people, they end up where they want to be. Maybe not, tomorrow, maybe not next week, but eventually, if they put in the hard work,
Right.
prepare themselves, they get there.
But they are willing to put down their work too because they are passionate about it, and then it's the basic stuff. It's a foundation that has to lay in ground, and then obviously you have tools like ours, you have programs like yours that are going to help you build your way into that successful career. But it all starts with you. What is your passion, what is your determination, and then we're here to make the path a little bit easier, both of us in each our way. And to kind of like wrap it up with the final questions, obviously, we already talked a little bit about it, about like our mutual synergies and how we think on the business side. There's a lot of similar stuff. So I just wanted to hear like some thoughts on how you see, obviously us working together and how, we can help students, particularly, find their path in the industry.
Well, it's great because obviously maybe some of the listeners don't know, but we met at SoccerX in Portugal, and this all started with a conversation that we were just having, a few minutes to get to know each other, and here we are,
Right.
collaborating and looking at opportunities to grow. So I think what you said is 100% spot on, where our values and the pillars that we founded our organizations on are very similar. And when you
Yeah.
find like-minded professionals that are looking to have that same vision, that it's about adding value to the market, it's about helping individuals pursue their passion, then there's ways to look at opportunities of collaboration, because that's
Right.
that's usually the challenge, right? Finding the right organizations that have the same
Yeah.
vision, that think the same way, that work in the same line. And when you do
Yeah.
find professionals that are like-minded, then the opportunities are easier to find. So.
And it just proves our point, right? How like putting yourself out there, networking, again, SoccerX, attending that event, and then we're suddenly, meeting face to face, and here we are. So, it's all about putting yourself out there. Look for opportunities on how you can excel your career. And again, Diego, I would just still like to thank you once again for the time. Truly appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners will check out your program and check more about what you guys are doing, the webinars, of course. And then, of course, we always finish with vi snakkes.
Thank you,
Thank
Ole.
you.
It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.